Okay, the next one up is our first like real challenging yoga posture, Ardha Matsyendrasana. I have lots to say about this one. So for this one, half Lord of the Fishes pose. Most people need a block to sit on for this one. We've got massive external rotation in this one and also some internal rotation. So we've got one leg internally rotating, one leg externally rotating. I'll show you. So my left leg will bend. Before I go any further, this one in class, I like to break this one down. So if you're a yoga teacher, it's nice to go slowly with this one. Talk about that first leg that you're bending. The knee is straight ahead in line with the central axis of the body. The toes are pointed beside the right hip. Sometimes there's a tendency to open up the hips, but we keep the hips square. The other leg crosses over top. There's a tendency for it to want to splay out to the side. Place the sole of the foot completely on the floor. So this leg is not externally rotating. This one is internally rotating. So you might feel a stretch in that hip as we internally rotate. And we want, sometimes the hip starts floating up off the floor. If that's the case, that's how you know you need a block to sit on. Sometimes students will be like, no, I can't. And they do this, but you're missing out on the stretch of the bottom leg. Better to sit up on a block and you'll notice, oh, now I can tuck that leg in. And now you're getting the full benefit. Why not multitask and do both of the actions in the pose by modifying it rather than just completely eliminating one portion of it? Now that you've got both legs in, maybe up on a block beneath the hips, I like to hold onto the top knee. You'll notice my knee is not quite straight over top along the central axis of my body. So I'm going to pull a little bit the knee in towards me to feel a nice stretch on the outside of the top leg. Now, feeling grounded, I'm even thinking of a little bit of extra grounding in the right hip. So I'm not even thinking about the left because it's naturally rooted. My right hip, I'm lifting up tall and almost like I'm trying to bring my ribs towards my thigh, not my belly, I'm scooping it in. And then I'm also drawing that knee towards me, lifting up tall, almost like there's a button on the ceiling I'm trying to press with the crown of my head. I like that action or that feeling or that thought, that visual, better than feel like there's a string lifting you, because a string lifting you is kind of passive. Whereas if you're pressing, and it's interesting, when I teach a class and I use that specific cue, press a button with the crown of your head, students go, whoop. Whereas if I say, feel like a string's lifting you, they're kind of like, okay. And they're a little bit lifted. So that action is quite strong. We cross the left arm over and the right hand is behind to support. I'll show you a different angle in just a moment here. But then the biggest tendency here is to slump. So if I do that, I'm actually at risk of overstretching my left lat, the same side as the arm that's crossing over. If I don't have the mobility in the hips to anteriorly rotate,